Hey guys, this is Troy Rada from Ozark, Missouri. I wanted to get out a quick video on Bitcoin funding team where crowdfunding meets Bitcoin. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. The home-based business industry has been very, very good to my family and myself over the years. It's always paid the bills. But where you can take a one-time $120 out of pocket and leverage it into $100,000 a month, and where the average person can do it in a forced matrix, 2x5 forced matrix type of platform, where it only takes 62 people to fill that matrix. It's almost incredible the way the numbers work. So take this seriously. I'm a former United States Scout sniper, and one thing I've learned over the years is that when you have a shot, you better take it. You better take that shot when you have the opportunity, because opportunities don't last. They're fleeting. They come in a narrow window of time, and they're gone before you know it. So take this seriously, folks. Leveraging a one-time $120 donation and $100,000 a month, that's serious. It's going to be life-changing, and I'd like to lock arms with every one of you and take you with me. And I tell you what, if you do that, if you lock arms with us for the next 90 days, you'll never, ever have to look for another business opportunity, a home business. You'll never have to worry about income again. You can do the things you've always wanted to do and not have to worry about the price tag. So guys, with that, we're going to play a couple short videos. What is a Bitcoin?
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. Bitcoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. Compared to other alternatives, Bitcoins have a number of advantages. Bitcoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net without going through a bank or clearinghouse. This means that the fees are much lower, you can use them in every country, your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits. Let's look at how it works. Bitcoins are generated all over the internet by anybody running a free application called a Bitcoin miner. Mining requires a certain amount of work for each block of coins. This amount is automatically adjusted by the network such that Bitcoins are always created at a predictable and limited rate. Your Bitcoins are stored in your digital wallet, which might look familiar if you use online banking. When you transfer Bitcoins, an electronic signature is added. After a few minutes, the transaction is verified by a miner and permanently and anonymously stored in the network. The Bitcoin software is completely open source, and anybody can review the code. Bitcoin is changing finance the same way the web changed publishing. When everyone has access to a global market, great ideas flourish. Let's look at some examples of how Bitcoins are already used today. You can purchase video games, gifts, books, servers, and alpaca socks. Several currency exchanges exist where you can trade your Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and more. Bitcoins are a great way for small businesses and freelancers to get noticed. It doesn't cost anything to start accepting them, there are no chargebacks or fees, and you'll get additional business from the Bitcoin economy.
Bitcoin and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill, okay? We are entering a completely world of uncharted water right now.
Have you made any investments in Bitcoin?
So, I mean, I personally own Bitcoin in my hedge fund. I own Bitcoin in my fund. I own Bitcoin in my private account. It is a huge deal. It's a huge, huge, huge deal. Because what you're talking about right now is for the next 3 to 5 years, an unbelievably better store value. It is gold 2.0.
I think this is a currency that's really going to work eventually.
Well, I think it is working, and there will be other currencies like it that may be even better. But in the meantime, there's a big industry around Bitcoin, and people have made fortunes out of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, there is no Bitcoin company, there is no Bitcoin building, there's not even a Bitcoin server anywhere that you could shut down. It is completely distributed. That's what's unique about Bitcoin. It is, for the first time, a way for the two of us to exchange value online without a third-party intermediary. Until the invention of Bitcoin, for you and me to exchange money online, we had to employ a third party, like PayPal, like Visa, like MasterCard, right? Now we live in the 21st century. If we want to have a video call to China, we can do that for free. But to send a couple $100, which is essentially just ones and zeros being moved around, costs 5% plus takes over a day.
Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient.
You'll see Bitcoin trading at 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Rick Falkvinia does an excellent analysis. He predicts that Bitcoin will capture between 1 and 10% of the global Forex market, which implies a price of between $100,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin. Most of the people who are on the sidelines not buying Bitcoin today will start to buy Bitcoin when it gets over 1,000, and then a greater percentage of people will definitely plow into Bitcoin when it starts to get over 10,000.
It's still predicting Bitcoin, $10,000 per Bitcoin in 3 years.
Casares, he is the CEO of Zappo, which is a Bitcoin wallet and Bitcoin vault.
I think it's mostly a very positive thing. I think we're going to see ups and downs like with any other emerging technology, but I think Bitcoin is here to stay, and it makes sense that it be taxed and treated like any other.
So let's make a bold call here. In 10 years, what do you think Bitcoin will be worth? One Bitcoin?
Between $500,000 and $1 million.
A lot of people are just seeing the charts and thinking, how high will it go? But what I'm doing is counting backwards. I mean, this is a transactional currency, and it is a store of value. As such, it is a product and a service competing on a very tangible market for stores of value and for transactional currencies. So what is the size of that market?
Right, and this is important.
And how big a market share can Bitcoin realistically take within a foreseeable time frame? Right. When you ask that question, then you come up with a market cap of Bitcoin total, and then you divide that by the number of Bitcoin in circulation by your estimated time, and seeing how Chinese are buying Bitcoin like crazy, I actually had to adjust this number upwards, but then you come up with a number of about $2 to $5 million per Bitcoin.
It suggests that everyone go back to buy one Bitcoin. Not too much, only one is enough. If everyone in this world, people, just to go back buy one Bitcoin, the Bitcoin value go to the $1 million. And when the Bitcoin have $1 million, all around the world will be crazy, and everyone will be the follow, and the other digital currency just to be be grandson of the Bitcoin. So for me, I think for a lot of people, they don't exactly understand why it's Bitcoin.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future, or is it the payment system they're developing?
Bingo! It's the payment system. It's the blockchain encryption, and they're interesting things. I think Bitcoin, or the really blockchain encryption that's behind it, has a greater ability to bring more of the world's population out of poverty than anything we've seen.
If you're new to Bitcoin, take your time to go out there and Google it and learn about it. It truly is one of the most important inventions in the history of humankind, and certainly the most important invention since the internet. Go out there, make a Bitcoin wallet, get involved, start using it, learn about all the positive ways in which this is going to improve the lives of every single person on the planet.
Steve Forbes, Sir Richard Branson, Bill Gates. If they had a yacht party, you probably wouldn't be invited, and neither would I. But you'd pay attention to what's going on if you were invited. And this is what they're doing. They're buying Bitcoin. They're saying it's going to go from $3,000 to $10,000 a Bitcoin this year in 2017. They're saying in the next 10 to 20 years, it could hit 100,000 in the next 3 to 5, in 10 to 20, $1 million to $2 million a Bitcoin. One of them even said, one hedge fund manager you just heard said $4 million. $4 million a Bitcoin. Now, what happens? What if you could collect just 100 Bitcoin this year? Use this crowdfunding platform to collect 100 Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin goes from 1,000 up to 10,000. That turns you into a millionaire overnight. You're an overnight millionaire just from collecting 100 Bitcoin and holding them. So we're going to show you just a little bit about how to do this. How do you mine Bitcoin? Well, you can go out and the mining difficulty of Bitcoin is exponentially harder. It doubles every 4 years. And right now the difficulty is so high, it's mined mainly in China, where the energy costs are low enough to make it economically feasible. You have to buy a lot of hardware, basically motherboards with a lot of graphic cards hooked up to them, shoved into a box. And you have row after row of them, shelf after shelf, just to make enough Bitcoin to make it economically feasible. So to set up a mining farm on a scale where you could do what you need to do, you're really looking at about $100,000 investment. Now you could take that same $100,000 and go out. That'd buy you about 80 Bitcoins right now at $1,200 a Bitcoin. So you could go out and purchase 80 Bitcoins, spend $100,000. Most people don't have $100,000, and so that makes it a little bit tough. But what everybody does have is a little bit of ambition, a little bit of time. Everybody can come up with $100 one time out of pocket and then leverage it with some sweat equity using this global crowdfunding platform that we call the Bitcoin Funding Team. With today's price at $1,200 per Bitcoin, when you leverage that into 84 Bitcoins, that's $100 a month. So $100,000 a month is serious income, and this is the only home-based business type opportunity that I've ever seen that can do that can leverage a one-time little over $100 into $100,000 a month and do it fast. And we're going to show you what this platform looks like right here, how it works. Now, this is a 2x5 matrix structure. And it's a forced matrix with full dynamic compression. And what that means is, if you go out and you share this with two people that think it's a good idea, and one of the two comes in, you're breaking even every month, because you're paying out one donation because you donate to open yourself up to receive donations, and you're receiving one donation every month, so you're breaking even. But if you share this with two people and both people become members, now you're doubling your Bitcoin every month. Now, where can you do that with only two people? I've been in several home businesses, network marketing companies, multi-level marketing companies. I was in a juice company I won't name with a binary compensation plan out of Arizona. And it took 16 people just to cover my mandatory auto ship of juice. It took 16 people to break even. Now, that's not doable for most people. But two is doable by everyone. And especially where people don't have to stockpile a product, where what they're doing is they're receiving donations to their cause. Everybody has a cause. This is just genius. Some people talk about the legality of crowdfunding. It's the one thing Obama did right. Crowdfunding became legal, a legal enterprise in 2012 as part of this Small Business Act. And so you can go out there and you can Google it, 2012 Small Business Act or 2012 crowdfunding. Basically what crowdfunding is, it allows everyone to receive donations of up to $1 million a year. The only stipulation is you have to pay taxes on it. So this is an incredible enterprise, and you couple that with Bitcoin, which is going up in value. It just hit the same price as gold today. I'm excited about it. Now, getting back to this matrix structure, to fill this matrix, it's going to take 62 people, which isn't hard to do. I did it in 3 days. I filled it in 3 days. You can go ahead and check that out with the company or anybody else that knows me, but we did it. Anyone on my team will tell you. The way you do it is you bring in two people and you teach your two to get two. If everybody teaches and trains to get two, you can fill a matrix in no time at all. If you sponsor more than two, since this is a forced matrix, your third person, and you can see number 3 on the chart here, your third person is forced under one of your first two. And that actually counts as that first one's personally sponsored person. So when he goes out and gets two, it really pays it forward, because he only has your number one person there only has one space left to fill on his first level, and so when he sponsors a second person, it'll go down on level 3. You know, now I brought in a lot more than 2 people. I had my first 3 or 4 levels filled my first day, and fear of loss set in, and everybody else started sponsoring and getting their 2 or 3, or some guys brought in 10 or 15. Because it's only $100. What have you got to lose? That's the worst that can happen. One out of pocket. Everything else is leveraged up through donations. You receive the donations before you have to pay out. So we're going to look at how that works. Okay. To get started, you have to go to Coinbase.com or localbitcoins.com or bitcoin.com, and you have to purchase 1/10 of a Bitcoin. I recommend you get just a little bit over it to cover the transaction fees, so I have people get 0.103 of a Bitcoin. Now you donate out, the computer will tell you who to donate to. You'll donate 1/10 of a Bitcoin to somebody's cause, and that opens you up to receive 2 donations. So right there you're breaking you're doubling your Bitcoin every month. But you could stay there. You could stay there with just 2 people under you, double your Bitcoin every month. But we're in this to make 84 Bitcoins a month. So I recommend you take those first 2 donations. It's nothing out of pocket. You already paid your $100 out of pocket. You take those first 2 donations and you upgrade. You donate them to someone that upgrades you, opens you up to receive 4 donations that are each twice as big. Each of them will be 0.20 of a Bitcoin, which is approximately $960 when you fill that second level of 4. Now I recommend you take half of those donations. The other half you can spend on anything you want, but take 2 of those 4 donations and upgrade to level 3. So you're donating 0.4 of a Bitcoin, and that opens you up to receive 8.40 contributions back to you, which just off that 3rd level, that's $3,840 worth of Bitcoin at today's price, which isn't bad if you stopped right there. And we teach that. We teach 248 duplicate. Everybody's responsible for filling out his first 3 levels. If everyone does that, your 2x5 is full overnight. Okay, the 2x5 crowdfunding platform continued. It gets even more exciting on the 4th and 5th level. You take 2.5 of your 8 donations from level 3. You can keep 5.5 and do anything you want with them, but take 2.5 and go ahead and upgrade to level 4. That opens you up to receive 16 full Bitcoin donations off that 4th level, which is approximately $19,200 at today's price. Now, it even gets better. You could stop there if you wanted to, but might as well go all the way to the top. So you take 2 of those 16 donations and you upgrade to level 5. And you do that by making a 2 Bitcoin donation to the person 5 levels up from you. And by making that donation, it opens you up to receive 32 2 Bitcoin donations. Now this is where the magic happens, because off that 5th level alone, you can receive up to $76,800 worth in value of Bitcoins. You know, if that's 32 Bitcoins at $1,200 a Bitcoin, that's $76,800. So let's just review it. With a filled 2x5 matrix of 62 members, all of them upgraded to stage 5. This is the goal. That's why everybody's got their own matrix. Everybody has to work this program, 2 that get 2. I don't want anyone on my team that can't bring 2 because they're dead weight. They're clogging up the system. It slows everybody down. But together, working as a team, team stands for together. Everybody achieves more. If we can teach and train that this is teamwork, and that if you don't make your contribution to this team of sharing this with 2 people, you're a detriment to the team. But if you do share it with 2 people, you know, we all win. And so fill that matrix, get everyone up to stage 5. You're donating 3.7 Bitcoin every month. That's what you're donating to a good cause, to 5 different causes. And every month you receive 84 Bitcoins, which at today's value is $100,800. And you were only out of pocket $100 one time and some sweat equity. This takes work. This is a work program. It's not a passive program. But we can all do it, and I'm excited for the next 90 days to see what happens. I've been involved 2 weeks. I've got a team in the hundreds. Lock arms with me. Lock arms with my team. Come in here with whoever shared this video with you, and get positioned. You know, your risk is $100. Your reward is so great. It's you know, it's life changing. You can find more information at teamallbitcoin.com. That's a generic site, and we'll see you at the top.